Hi, welcome to Slow Motion Yoga. My name is Kayla. This is going to be a slow flow. If you're a brand new beginner, it might be a good idea to check out a Foundations of Yoga class first. Emily has one of those up on the channel already, which is perfect for you. But if you are a beginner, you are still welcome here. We're going to still talk about alignment. We'll still go through a lot of cueing, and we're going to focus on holding postures for a little bit longer and really breathing deeply into them so we can get a nice stretch, nice well-rounded practice. Before we get started, if you do have any medical conditions like high blood pressure, if you have any pre-existing injuries, if you are pregnant, or if there's any other reason why a medical professional has told you that you should not be practicing yoga, then this video is not for you today. Before we get started, I do have some props. I have blocks and I'm going to be using them throughout the flow. If you have blocks, I highly recommend grabbing them. If you don't, you can also get creative with stacks of books. Empty shoeboxes work as well. Anything that you can use to prop your hands up on will be perfect. You're also welcome to grab blankets, meditation pillows, anything else that you might need for your practice. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. So meet me here in a Sukhasana easy seat. Ground through those sits bones. If you're anything like me and your spine kind of likes to do one of these, you might want to sit up on a blanket or a pillow. Anything like that is fine. And go ahead and get settled. So again, grounding through the sits bones. Spine is nice and straight. Shoulders up, back, down, and around. And palms resting on the thighs or on the knees, whatever is comfortable for you. Close your eyes, or you can just gaze forward. And let's start with some deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Audible sigh on that exhale. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And a few more rounds of breath at your own pace. Centering, grounding here before we get started. Loosen out any tension in the shoulders. Good. All right, we'll get started with a few body rolls. So as you're ready, you'll come forward on your inhale, and then we'll start moving in a clockwise motion. So towards the back of your mat on the exhale, forward on the inhale, and back on the exhale. Warming up the spine here. You'll also feel your hips start to get warmed up. As best as you can as you're doing this, see if you can really stay grounded through those sits bones so that we're really warming up the top half of our body. Good. And again, forward on the inhale, back on the exhale at your own pace. When you're ready, let's find a place to switch directions. So again, same thing, but this time counterclockwise. Back on the exhale, forward on the inhale, feeling that spine really warming up. So we're almost like some seated cat-cows, but with a little more movement. Good. Forward on the inhale, back on the exhale. Good. And then when you're ready, go ahead and meet me in a neutral spine here and settle back into Sukhasana. We're going to take a side stretch. So on an inhale, go ahead and lift those arms up to the sky. On an exhale, left fingertips come down to the ground. And then let's go ahead and reach up and over with that right arm. So we'll feel a nice stretch through the right side body. Gaze up towards your bicep or towards your arm. Loosen out that left shoulder so we're not putting too much pressure there. And really ground again through that right sits bone. You'll notice that if your sits bone and your hip starts to lift up off the ground, you're not going to feel that stretch as much. And inhale, come back up. On an exhale, right fingertips down to the ground and left side body up and over. Breathing deeply here, holding this posture. Again, grounding through that left sits bone. Inhale up to the sky. We'll do one more on each side. So exhale, left fingertips come down and right hand comes up and over. Continue to breathe really deeply, really fully. Inhale, arms back up to the sky, and one more time, right hand comes down, right fingertips tent on your mat, and then left arm comes up and over on your exhale. And a few breaths here at your own pace. Good, inhale, rise. And on your exhale, draw your hands through into prayer pose, Anjali Mudra. And let's go ahead and meet up in tabletop. We're gonna finish up our warm up here. So in tabletop pose, wrists right underneath your shoulders and then knees underneath your hips. If this bothers your wrists at all, you're welcome to prop yourself up on your fists as well. That works just as well. Zip your belly button up towards your spine so that we're giving the lower back some support. And then we're going to take some hip circles here. So we're going to start to warm up the hips. So we'll go ahead and push your hips back towards your heels. And then as we inhale, we're going to start coming around, and just like we did for our body rolls, we're going to come clockwise to start, up and around the wrists, and then on the exhale, push back, moving in clockwise circles. Inhale forward, exhale back, inhale forward, exhale back. Good, and you can do this at your own pace, so move with your breath. Start to feel those hip joints really lubricate, really warm up. We're going to be using them a lot today. So we want to kind of get those waking up. You might be feeling some cracks of the joints if you're like me right now. And then find a good place to switch, and we'll start going back around counterclockwise. Forward on the inhale and back on the exhale. Good. Forward on the inhale, back on the exhale. Forward on the inhale, back on the exhale. Really breathing deeply here. We're focusing on the quality of our movements today over the quantity. Good, and then when you're ready, go ahead and meet me back here in tabletop. We're going to come into our sun salutations. So in whatever way feels best for you, meet me in a standing position at the top of your mat. I'm gonna go ahead and just step forward. You can do whatever works for you. And let's meet up in Tadasana, mountain pose. So feet are gonna be about hips width distance apart. Arms are going to go at your sides. Deep breaths. As best as you can, stack everything on top of each other. So knees above the ankles, hips above the knees, and then spine in a nice straight neutral line. And when you're ready on an inhale, we're going to reach our hands all the way up to the sky. And on an exhale, we're going to bow down into our forward fold, hanging over your legs, leading with the hinge of the hips, bending your knees as much as you need. Good. And on your inhale, you're going to prop up to your half lift here. So up, you can use your blocks for this, into kind of this L shape or kind of like a right angle, straight spine. And then on an exhale, we bow back down into our forward fold all the way to the ground. Inhale, rise, everything comes all the way back up to the sky. Exhale, arms at your sides, Tadasana. Again, on your inhale, arms go up to the sky. Exhale, everything comes all the way down, forward folds. Again, bending your knees as much as you need to here, taking whatever movements you need. Inhale, up to our half lift, straight spine, using your blocks as you need. And exhale, forward fold, everything all the way back down. And inhale, everything comes all the way back up, including those arms reaching up to the sky. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold all the way down to the ground. Feeling that stretch in your hamstrings. Inhale, half lift, prop yourself up however you need. And exhale, forward fold everything back down. Inhale, rise up, arms come up, everything to the sky. And exhale, arms at your sides one more time. Nice simple movements. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, bow down, forward folds. Inhale, prop up, half lift. And exhale, forward fold, everything comes back down. And inhale, arms come up, everything reaches up to the sky. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. A few rounds of breath here. Arms at your sides. Good, let's start our standing sequence. We're gonna start with our left side. So we're gonna start with our right foot tracking straight forward. Left leg is going to come back. We're thinking just about one leg's worth distance between your two legs, but this will look a little different for everyone. And then go ahead and bend through that right knee. Arms stretch out to the side. Torso faces the left side wall or whatever's on your left-hand side. Arms spread out nice and wide. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Think about your right knee tracking towards the right so that our knee isn't buckling in here. Let's take some breaths here together. Settle into those hips. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Making whatever small shifts to your alignment you need. Breathe. On an inhale, flip that right palm upward, and then go ahead and legs stay the same. Upper body tilts back. So we're stretching through that right side body. Left hand comes to land on your back leg. Peaceful warrior. Breathe here. On an exhale, straighten through that right leg. Go ahead and tip up and over into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So your right hand is going to land on either your shin, a block, the floor, maybe even your thigh. If you're not quite all the way towards the ground, that's absolutely okay. And then left arm stretches all the way up to the ceiling. Adjust yourself if you're wobbling a little bit like I am. Good. Settle here. Don't put too much pressure in that right shoulder. Deep breaths. Pull your right hip forward so that it almost feels as if your left hip is stacked directly over that right hip. Deep breaths. Inhale, rise all the way up and come to face the front of your mat. So bend through this right knee, pop up to the ball of your left foot, and then come down towards the ground. Hands can come to either blocks or the floor, runner's lunge. Make sure that right knee is tracking no further than over the top of your right ankle. Spine neutral. Breathe. And then go ahead and tap that left knee down. Untuck your toes. And we're going to bring our body just a little bit forward so you feel that stretch in your left hip. Give a little bit of an energetic tug in between your left leg and your right leg so that you give yourself a foundation to rise up. And then bring the arms up to the sky. Tip forward just slightly, crescent lunge. Really feel that stretch through your left hip. Exhale, bring the arms down. Inhale, back up, crescent lunge. Exhale, bring the arms down. Inhale, back up, crescent lunge. One last time. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, crescent Breathe here. Good, and then hands come down. Right knee comes to meet the left knee. Oh, feedback from the thigh. Good, and then let's go ahead and rest in Balasana, child's pose. So you can go ahead and you can widen out your knees. You can also keep them closer together if that feels better for you. And then crawl the hands or the arms forward. And bring yourself all the way down to the ground or as close as you can get. And then forehead will rest either on the ground or on a block. And let's breathe here together. On an inhale, go ahead and bring yourself back up, hands and knees, tabletop position. We'll go ahead and take a vinyasa in between our sides. So once again, however you feel comfortable, you can step up to the front of your mat, or however feels best to get there. Meet up in Tadasana, again, mountain pose, arms at the side. Nice neutral spine. Once we're all here, on an inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale all the way back down, forward fold. Inhale, everything comes back up to the sky. Exhale, arms at your sides. Okay, we'll go ahead and do our second side. So this time, left foot is going to track forward. Our right foot or our right leg is going to come back. And we'll settle in here, bend through the left knee. Spread those arms nice and wide. Torso this time is going to face to the left-hand side of your room or wherever you are. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Breathe deeply here. Settle into your hips. Keep that left knee tracking forward. Good. Inhale, flip the left palm upward. And then peaceful warrior, tip up and back. Stretch through that left side of the body. Right arm lands on the back leg. Breathe here. Again, keep that knee tracking forward. Breathe deeply. On an exhale, straighten that left leg, tip up and over Trikonasana, triangle pose. Land that hand on a block, the floor, the mat, whatever's comfortable. Right hand comes all the way up to the sky. Try not to compress too much through that left hand side. Keep the integrity of the spine. And breathe here. And then holding that power in your legs on your inhale, rise up. And then turn to the front of your mat. Bend through the left knee. Pop up to the ball of your right foot. Hands come down to blocks or the ground. Runner's lunge. And breathe here. Tap that right knee down, untuck your toes, and then again, see if you can give yourself a little bit of a tug right up toward the center of your body, so that when you come forward into your crescent lunge, you have a nice base here. You might still be wobbling a little bit, because I know I am. Arms to the sky, crescent lunge. And then we'll flow just a little bit here again. So exhale, hands down. Inhale, back up, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, back up, crescent lunge. One more time. Exhale, hands down. And inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands all the way down, and then left knee comes back to meet the right knee. And once again, let's go ahead and spread those knees out or keep them together. And push the hips back. And then we'll go ahead and crawl our hands and our arms forward, and we'll rest for a few rounds of breath in Balasana Child's Pose. Really feel the stretch here through both the sides of your body. Breathe at your own pace. On an inhale, come back up, meet me in tabletop pose. We're going to start to wind down our practice in pigeon pose. So let's go ahead and bring that left leg forward. Now your left shin can either be parallel to the top of the mat, or it can be a little bit more folded up, so the heel would be closer to the hip bone. And then from here, we go ahead and we pull that right leg back so that you're in this kind of stretch here, almost like a split position with that back leg. But we want to make sure that we're once again kind of like in our crescent lunge, our Anjaneyasana, that we are keeping the integrity of this lower portion of our body, that we're not falling into our left-hand side here. So we want to make sure that we have, once again, that kind of energetic tug, so that we're sitting here and almost as if you wanted to, you could let go and you could float it, but we don't have to do that today. If you find you're having any trouble, you can always slide a block here under that left butt cheek. If an upright position isn't good for you, you are welcome to come onto your back into a figure 4 posture. So on your spine, left heel will go over the right knee. You'll go ahead and pull that right leg in towards you. And as you do that, energetically resist that left knee away from you so that you're feeling that stretch in your left hip. So wherever you would like to join me, feel free to do so. If you're in this upright pigeon with me, feel free to bring your forearms either to the ground or to blocks. And we'll rest here. Take some deep breaths as you feel that nice stretch in your hips. Deep breaths in and out. As you breathe out, let go of any tension you might be holding, anything that you don't need, anything that doesn't serve you. Good. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, you can go ahead and rise up if you were down on your forearms. And go ahead and just kind of roll over onto your left hand side. And we'll go ahead and switch legs. So the right leg will come forward and then the left leg will go ahead and slide right back. If you are in that supine position, you'll just switch your legs. So this time your right heel will go over your left knee instead, and you do that same stretch on your spine. So whichever variation you're in, whatever works for you, go ahead and find that. Take your time. And then if you would like to join me, you can go ahead and bring your forearms down to the ground. And breathe here. Taking really full, deep breaths all the way down into your belly. We get into some of these postures that might feel a little bit intense with the stretching. So not necessarily uncomfortable and definitely not painful, but maybe a little bit intense. It's okay to just breathe deeply into that stretch as long as it feels good for you. Loosening out the shoulders, making sure you're not holding any tension there or holding tension anywhere else. Sometimes tension shows up in places like the forehead or the scalp. So notice those areas. On an exhale, you can release any tension, anything negative that you don't need. Breathing at your own pace. And inhale, let's go ahead and rise up. Again, you can go ahead and kind of roll over onto your right hand side. Bring your left foot around. Both feet are going to meet in the middle into a bound angle pose. Whatever feels comfortable for you here is okay. Your knees might be a little further up, they might be a little further down. As long as you're comfortable, anything is fine. Ground through those sits bones. Again, you might find that your spine kind of likes to sort of do this because that's what mine does. If you have any issues with that, you can absolutely sit up on a blanket or blocks. And then maybe fluttering out the knees a little bit, just kind of letting go of any tension that you might still be holding in the hips. Just bringing some movement back into those areas after those really nice longer periods of stretching. Good. And then when you're ready, go ahead and use the hands to bring the knees together. And we'll meet on our spines together. So go ahead and stretch those legs out. You can wiggle out the knees if you want to. Kind of loosen any tension you might still be holding, especially in the thighs. And then go ahead and when you're ready, lower yourself down onto your spine. Hands at your sides. Take some nice deep grounding breaths here. And we'll take a few minutes together for Shavasana. And as you're ready, you can start to wiggle through your toes, wiggle through your fingers. Just bring a little bit of movement back into your body. Take some nice deep breaths here. Open the eyes when you're ready. And then slowly, gently, however feels comfortable for you, go ahead and bring ourselves back up. We'll finish off here as we started in our Sukhasana. Take your time, meet me here when you're ready. Take some deep breaths here. Again, grounding through the sits bones. Shoulders up, back down, and around. And then one last inhale, hands to the sky. And we draw, we draw through prayer pose, Anjali Mudra. Thank you.